Fair. All right, obviously you come into every game hoping to win, planning to win, but did the margin surprise you or tell you anything about where your team is in terms of its progress?
Well, yeah, if you were to ask me, are you going to win by 20-something plus points, considering who East Carolina has played, and you looked at their 4 conference losses, it's like I told our kids earlier, their record is not indicative of what type of team they are. They lose to one of the best teams in the conference, Memphis, by 3. They lose to UAB, one of the top teams, by I believe 5. They lost to UTEP by 10, but with 4 minutes to go, it's a 4-point game. So I think I think ECU ran out of gas a little bit the second half. I thought we did a good job of running the basketball and playing our transition game, and I felt like our kids just had more fun today. They played together as a team. We're slowly trying to get that chemistry that it takes to really contend in the conference.
Your defense forces 20 turnovers, and ECU only had 1 player shoot 50%. What was your defensive focus coming into this game, and overall, what did you think of the way your defense played?
Well, we played a little bit of our 1-2-2 zone today and changed our defenses. I was really concerned against the type of motion that ECU runs. They do a good job of backdoor cuts and movement. We made some adjustments. I thought our kids really played and adjusted to what we talked about defensively against ECU. The second half we started out mixing it up with a little 1-2-2 zone, and probably about the 7-minute mark, the ECU started figuring some things out, and then we switched back to man. So, we were able to change our defenses a little bit, but this is the second game in a row where the opposing team has shot under 30% in the second half, and that's what coaches look at. And if you're going to keep teams shooting under 30%, you're going to give yourself a chance to win.
You outscore them 38-16 in the paint, including you got a season high 16 points from Christine Elliott, who shot 7 of 11. Where does this rank in terms of her better offensive game since you've had her?
Well, it's funny because one of the things I just told her after the game, I said, this is probably the best game I've seen you play all year. Chris doesn't practice every practice. Even though if we practiced tomorrow, she would sit out, just because she's had some knee problems and she just has to rest the knee. So her timing has been off this year because she doesn't practice. She practices maybe half the practices of what the rest of the team practices. But I thought today she really sprinted up and down the floor. Her transition game, she got down the floor. We still miss her a lot on seals, and our high-low, our guards coming down sometimes tend to miss her and timing's off, but I thought she was as active and aggressive as she's been. The other thing today, she finally looked for her shot a little bit more. She's been kicking it out, and she got a 3-second call in the game today because she kicked it out when she should have been shooting the basketball. So she needs to be more offensive minded, but today I thought she was very aggressive.
Would you rather have a lead scorer sort of carry the load, or be like today, you had 3 players in double digits, with Heidi Brandenburg getting 12 and Alicia Fillmore picking up 10. Do you prefer to have that balance rather than one player take the lead and dominate the offensive stat sheet?
We very seldom have one player dominate the stat sheet, and if they do, it's the next game might be somebody else. We don't have that player that's going to consistently get 16, 17, 18 points a game. In turn, sometimes it's hard to, like ECU, at times face guarded Sam, a couple of times face guarded Alicia, and when they did that, we worked on some things in practice, in preparation for a box and one, preparation for a triangle and two, because that's what ECU does. They run a lot of gimmick defenses. But when your kids are being face guarded, the bottom line is you got to have somebody else step up. I think teams waste too much time trying to get those players open instead of letting your other players step up. And as I told our other kids, hey, if you're not being face guarded, it's a little bit of a slap in the face. They're saying you can't score, so what are you going to do about it? So that was our exact conversation.
You're 18 games in now. You've won 3 in a row in conference here, and now you're about to go on the road to go back to Orlando to face UCF. Overall, how do you feel about the way your team's playing right now?
I think, especially going off these last 2 games, I think that Marshall game was a huge mental victory for us. I think what our kids overcame, and the fact that they were playing a team that was at that time 12-3, 3-0, we were on the road, and we hung in there at the end. I think that really gave us some confidence, and we had a week to prepare for ECU. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's too long of a break, especially after a win. But we had a chance to bring our practice guys in and scrimmage them a little bit, and that's something that I think really, really helps us. But I like what I saw today. I like the week of practice, and I like, I like how our kids are feeling about themselves right now.
Thank you very much.